Well, hey, you guys, welcome back to the show. We're going to talk today about lighting. And that reminds me. There we go. Much better. I had to turn on my light. You see what a difference that makes? That's why we're going to talk about lighting. It's very important. Now, number one principle you need to understand is what is the main purpose of lighting? Often when we think about lighting, we think, oh, I want to get like cool colored lights to get a cool, a nice blue or a red or an orange wash of color on the stage. And the colors to change with the music and moving lights and a hazer and all that stuff. Forget about all that stuff. That is kind of the icing on the cake. We're going to talk about the actual cake, the foundation. And that is the purpose of lighting is and get this, is important. May seem obvious, but it's not. The purpose of the lighting is so that people see what you want them to see. That's the number one thing. You have to take care of that before you start getting color washes and cool LED dancing, moving lights. Before you deal with any of that, you need to make sure that the lighting helps people to see what you want them to see. Now, our eyes are naturally drawn to light, to what's brightest. And so we want to make sure that we are lighting the important things on stage. So that's that front and center stage. You need to make sure that that has good light. So how do you get good light in that area? Well, there's one thing that is a principle, that's a law that we have not been able to do anything about, and that is this: light travels in a straight line. If there was a software plugin that you could get that could bend light around the corner, oh man, you would be a rich person. But unfortunately, light only travels in a straight line. So the geometry of your room really matters in where you put your lights. I'm going to go to the rehearsal hall in a couple minutes and do a little demonstration of how the geometry works. But basically what you want for your lighting is you want to have ideally two lights of your main center, two lights at about 45-degree angles, 45 degrees up and 45 degrees off to the side, both shining on that front and center spot. And then you want to have good backlighting just above in the back to light up the top of the head and the crown of the shoulders to make that person stand out. If you can only afford one light, well, then just put that one light front and center. But that geometry really, really matters. And so let's go to the demo and show you demonstrate the difference that geometry makes. Well, hey, you guys, I'm in the rehearsal hall to talk to you a little bit about lighting and just demonstrate the difference that lighting makes and how the geometry of the room and where the lights are makes such a big difference in how the lights look. So you've got see the four lights up there in the rehearsal hall. Now, those four lights are pretty much straight on, so they're lighting up my face well when I'm facing the lights. But if I'm in this room and I want to turn and talk to the people who are seated on the right side, you'll see now that this side of my face is dark. So how do you handle that? Well, one way we talked about the tri lighting strategy, or if instead of just having the lights straight on, if I had a couple lights at say 45-degree angles coming in, then when I turned, the light on this angle would still be lighting up this side of my face. So I could turn all around the stage, sort of 180 degrees, to be able to turn, and my face would not be getting dark. Man, I got to switch hands. I need a selfie stick or something. So another part of the angle is how steep the lights are coming down from me. So right now the lights are about a 45-degree angle and they're lighting up my face quite nicely. If I walk closer to the lights, you'll see as I get closer and the angle gets steeper, now there are shadows under my eyes and under my mouth, and I look spooky and ominous. So you want on your stage lights, you want the lighting to be at the right angle. You don't want your pastor to be looking spooky and ominous as he is sharing the gospel. So we've got good front lighting. Now I just want to show you the difference that backlighting makes. So I just set up a light on a music stand right there that you can see to set up some backlighting so you could see the difference that makes. So I'll stand right here, and you'll notice that I look. I mean, you can see me just fine, but let's plug in the backlight, and you'll see what a difference that makes. So here we go. Okay, now you see that with the backlight on, and I don't have the angles just right, but you'll see that there's sort of a glow around the top of my head and around my shoulders, and that really makes me stand out from the background and gives me a more three-dimensional look. So, like I explained in the other video, you want for all the spots on your stage to have this tri-lighting effect where you've got lighting on the sides or sort of two front lights coming in at an angle so that you can turn your head and not have shadows. And then you want this backlight to make the people on stage stand out and sort of have an element of depth and three dimension to them. Okay, so just one more time, I'll show you sort of the before and after of the without backlighting. Here's without backlighting. And now here's with backlighting. Because sometimes people think, well, backlighting, what difference does it make? Well, it really makes a big difference. So when you design a lighting setup for your stage, ideally what you want is you want to have two side lights, not side lights, but two lights coming in at an angle to get the front, and a backlight, and you want to have those three lights, that tri-light arrangement for everywhere on your stage. So you would divide your stage up into different zones and make sure each zone has that kind of lighting. And so then the person who's speaking or the main worship leader, they're right in the middle of that zone. They are lit up very well. They're the brightest. And then everyone's attention is going to be drawn to them, and they're going to be more effective in their leadership when they're well lit and people can see you. So just remember, before you go crazy on LED color washes and moving lights and hazers, the number one job of lighting is to help people see what you want them to see. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.